Hi everyone, my name is Mike, and I'm with Hummingbot. We're an open source project that helps you run any type of crypto trading bot, whether it's market making, arbitrage, or your own custom bot. So the way that our business model is something called liquidity mining, and I want to take a moment and make a video to show you how it works and how to get started with our liquidity mining platform on Hummingbot. So first of all, a quick disclaimer, nothing here today is investment advice, and it's just a pure demo for educational purposes. So what is liquidity mining? You may have heard the buzzword. It's become a pretty hot thing in crypto today, and really started from a white paper that we wrote about a year and a half ago called liquidity mining, and you can go to the URL and read lots of math and simulations on how it works. But the basics is really simple. The idea is that when tokens list on an exchange or any market, they typically have to hire a market maker today. And a market maker is a hedge fund that charges a lot of money to automatically place orders in the order book or some type of exchange and provide liquidity. So obviously in crypto, it's all about community, about decentralization. And so we came up with a concept where an issuer, someone who issues a token, can put up a reward pool, and the reward pool can go to people who are proving that they're providing liquidity as of a certain time. So this is kind of fit the blockchain world very well, because on blockchain there's already kind of segregated blocks on every timestamp, and so it's really easy to kind of reward people because every block you can see proof that the person actually is providing liquidity to a certain exchange. So that's why for Uniswap, because it's pretty easy to provide liquidity to be in a Uniswap LP, liquidity mining has become very popular over there. But most exchanges are order book exchanges. So how does that work on a centralized order book exchange? And this is what our system is designed to do. It's basically a liquidity mining platform that we've deployed on Binance, KuCoin, and other centralized order book exchanges. And so the economic principle is the same as the liquidity mining and DeFi. There's a token pool, there's a reward pool that a token issuer funds. And then so that they give us that reward pool. And what we do is we work with exchanges to build this really complex and sophisticated data collection system that allows us to take snapshots of every order book on the exchange every minute. And then the users, the liquidity miners, who are either individuals or firms that are running our bot, they can give us an API key, and they can run the bot. And then in every order book snapshot, we can basically figure out if the orders are in each snapshot, and then reward them based on the spread and the size of the orders. So the larger your order, or the tighter the spread is, the larger a portion of that reward you get in the snapshot. And so basically for the issuer, they can get proof of liquidity and access liquidity from a decentralized community, as opposed to hiring a single hedge fund for market making, which is more efficient. It's also more transparent. And then for the liquidity miners, they can basically take the capital of tokens they hold and run Hummingbot, or they can run their own software if they want, and they can earn essentially a fixed yield based on the capital that they provide. So this is really how it works, and we've been running this for a few months now, actually 9 months, and it's gotten pretty popular on Binance, and so we're really excited to expand onto other centralized exchanges, and then eventually to other decentralized exchanges. So, but enough with the demo. Let me actually show you exactly how it works and how to get started with liquidity mining. So it's pretty simple. There's three basic steps. The first, we're going to create API keys on an exchange, because that's what we use to both track your data, but also the API key is used by Hummingbot, the bot, to actually automate a trading strategy. Number two, we'll take that read-only API key we create and put it into Hummingbot Miner, which is the application we use to track your data. And number three, we'll take the trade-enabled key, put it in Hummingbot, and use that to run a trading bot that can earn rewards. So let's get into it. So first, let's go and create an API key. I'm going to use Binance as a demo because Binance is one of the most popular exchanges in crypto. So to create an API key, go to your user and then API management over here. And you're going to want to create two API keys. The first one is a read-only key. So make sure that this enabled reading is on. And that's the only check you have to set. And then the next one is a trade-enabled key. So a key like this that enables both reading as well as spot and margin trading. Make sure to write down both the API key and the secret key because you'll need both when you entering them into the apps. So that's step one. And then finally, next, go to step two. Go to the Hummingbot Miner app. So this is a web app. The URL is miner.hummingbot.io. You can also access it from our website. So this is a list of the different trading pairs on various exchanges where we've had a customer fund a reward pool and it's available for people to earn. So this here shows the total amount of rewards across all the different trading pairs for this week. And right now it's about $23,000. So it's really a combination of reward pools in each of these individual trading pairs. So this number is the total amount of liquidity provided by bots currently in the last snapshot. And so right now there's over 500 bots providing $700,000 of liquidity. Also, this liquidity is really only the amount of open orders that are on the order book within a maximum spread, because I think typically about 2% of between the mid price, and so it's really that the volume is clustered around the mid price, and it's probably what's actually going to be filling trades all the time. And finally, this number represents how much volume our miners have filled over the last 24 hours, and this is a yield. So the yield here is analogous to the yield in other liquidity mining platforms, but our yields tend to be higher because this liquidity is just only the liquidity. The volume is only the volume on that, close to the order book, so that's why the yields are higher. And if we take a look at one of these individual markets, so let's take a look at the NEM Tether market on Binance. So this is what it actually looks like for one market, one trading pair. And basically in this week, NEM is paying out 4,600 NEM. So reward pool is about $3,000. And so they've set the maximum spread at 1%, which means that only orders within 1% of the mid price are eligible. And the payout asset is the NEM token. And so every week, users who earn rewards in this token are getting paid out all the time. So you can also see kind of what's happening in every single order book snapshot. So these are different snapshots we've taken of the order book. We can take one approximately once a minute. And so you can see in this last one, there was 16 bots providing about $27,000 of liquidity within the 1% spread range. So you can see the breakdown between all miners versus you, how much spread they put on versus your spreads, and finally, everyone's rewards versus your share of that reward. And then finally, you can also look at a leaderboard. So the leaderboard tracks what's happening throughout the miner app across the entire user base. And so right now, there's quite a few top contenders, and this demo account that I'm running is way behind. But for me, it's still a good use of the small amount of funds that I have. So ultimately, we've tried to create a system that where if you're a professional market maker, you're going to be playing in the top of the leaderboard, trying to earn the most rewards. But even if you're a small individual, you can still play in one of the smaller markets where it's a lot less competitive. For example, maybe something like the Phoenix global markets. So that's it. So let's finally now let's do step 3. Let's actually show you how to run a bot and start earning rewards. So I'm going to go to this is Hummingbot over here. Hummingbot is a command line application that you can download from our app, from our website, install via Docker, or install via source from our GitHub directly. It's a command line interface, which means that you control it by entering various commands. For instance, this is actually frozen. Give me 1 second. This is what happens when you try to do a demo. Give me 1 second to load that back up again. Okay. So Hummingbot is a command line app, so you can use a help command at any time to figure out what the list of commands are, and then you use the connect command to connect to an exchange. And once you've added the API keys to the exchange, you can then use the balance command to see your balances across the different exchanges. So currently I have a bot running. So let me stop this bot and set up again, and I'll show you how to create a bot from scratch. So use the create command to create a bot. And what we recommend is the new liquidity binding strategy. If you're going to pick liquidity mining, this was just released in the last release of Hummingbot 0.36, and we think that because you can really focus on liquidity mining, it's optimized for liquidity mining on our miner platform. I think that we recommend this as the easiest way to get started for new users. So you're going to get asked a series of questions, and the questions are used to set the parameters that define the strategy itself. So the first one is the exchange where you're going to be running this strategy on, and so you can select any of the centralized exchanges that we've connected to. So I'll pick Binance for this one since we have the miner platform only on Binance and KuCoin currently. Next, you're going to pick a list of the different markets that you'll be market making on, and so I would recommend looking at kind of like the miner platform and seeing which trading pairs you're going to pick. I'm going to pick only the markets that have USDT as the second symbol, and you'll see why in a second. So I've picked these 4 different trading pairs, and then finally I'm going to use my USDT balance to provide liquidity to these various markets. Size of order. The size of order is really depends on you. There's the only restriction on our side is the minimum orders. Some exchanges impose a minimum order amount, but there's no restriction on Hummingbot's side because it's just a tool that helps you interact with various exchanges. So I'll just use $20 for the time being. The next question is what the spread of your orders are. So the tighter the spread, the closer you are to the mid price, and the more often you're going to start filling orders. But if you're new, we recommend you start wider because you're also paying fees. And so if you set the spreads too tight, then the fees you pay for every trade might actually be higher than how much money you're making. So I would recommend something like 1% as something that's fairly wide. Now, you do need to take note of the max spread on different markets, but generally speaking, we advise that new users enter cautiously as opposed to trying to maximize how much rewards they earn. The next, you're going to enter into a target percentage. And the way this works is that basically it's going to try to maintain that target inventory as a percentage between the base and the quote assets in that trading pair. So because I'm doing this across 4 different markets, I'll just kind of put 20, which means that I want to try to have 20% of the value for this position in the risky asset, which is the first asset in the trading pair, and the other 80% in Tether, which is kind of like my base home asset. And so that's really the main basics of the configuration, and then you can save that config in a file that you can load later on using the import command. So now we can hit start to start the bot. But before we do that, let's take a second and check our configs. And so there are some global configurations that are set by Hummingbot, and there's some strategy-specific configurations over here. So you can see some of the ones we entered, like exchange, market, token, order amount, and spread. But there's a few other advanced ones that we can set.